Hello, my name is Jackson Wilcox, and I'm a financial advisor here at SageSpring Wealth Partners. One of our core values as a firm is that we all have something to learn and we all have something to give. I'm looking off screen here at the values that I've posted in my office. So today, I'm actually a member of SageSpring's Financial Planning Task Force, which was created as part of this transition to make sure that we maintain and enhance the level of service we're providing to our clients. I'm a member of the Financial Planning Task Force, and as a member of that task force, I've been a part of developing SageSpring's client portal. And so today, I wanted to spend a few minutes showing you how to enroll in the portal if you haven't already. Spend a little bit of time doing that, and then also demo what the experience is like for you on desktop and mobile, cover a few tips and tricks along the way, and see if we can get you up to speed quickly on how to use this. So whether you work with a team in our Franklin office, where I'm located, or if you work with another team in Omaha or Alabama or Knoxville, or perhaps the great state of Texas, we welcome you and hope you find this time valuable and helpful. So to get started, what I'd like to do is first just share with you kind of a conceptual overview of why the SageSpring Client Access Portal is important. And to do that, I'm just going to jump over here and share this kind of graphic here. And so immediately you might see some names that you recognize and possibly some places that you hold assets with one of your advisory teams here. And first one I'd highlight, which is probably the most common, is we've got the Fidelity login here. Got a few pop-ups to get rid of. We've got the Fidelity login here. There's a possibility that maybe you might be holding some funds with American funds. You might have some 401k assets that our team is helping you with. You might be holding some annuities or insurance products that our team is assisting you with at Retire One. And the SageSpring Client Access Portal is what brings all of this together and makes it a holistic experience for you, so where you can see all your accounts in one place, as well as adding things like file sharing, adding things like performance reporting, incorporating your financial plan, and basic things that you would always want to use your online login for, like a history of your transactions and your holdings. So before we go too far, though, I also want to kind of contrast that the SageSpring Client Access Portal will be your number one go-to, and it's going to be the place for you to get comprehensive information on your financial situation. But it's also important to recognize there are a few key functions that the custodial logins provide that it'll be important sometimes for you to have a login into those as well. And so I'll just share this right here. And this is a Venn diagram. So on the left side here, we have the SageSpring Wealth Partners Client Access. What all could you access and use inside of your SageSpring Wealth Partners Client Access login? And then here we have a Venn diagram for Fidelity or perhaps another custodian login as we add custodians over time. And so you can see here's what you can only get on the Fidelity custodial side. Here's what you can only get on the SageSpring side. And then a few things that will kind of apply in both situations. But in order for you to get account statements, that's going to be inside the custodial login. In order for you to get tax documents, that's going to be inside the custodian login. And if you ever need to transact money, move money from one account to another, or send funds somewhere without the help of our team, you're going to need to use the Fidelity login for that. Some things that you're only going to be able to get on the SageSpring side are a view of all of your accounts, especially if you have accounts with multiple custodians. Performance reporting, how's my account done over time as a percentage of the balance, file sharing, sending files to and from your advisory team, as well as access to your financial plan. Those are going to be things you'd exclusively get on the client access side. And then here in the middle, we got a few things that would show up in both places. You'd be able to see the current balance of an account in both places. You'd be able to see the holdings in both places, and also review the transaction history, because that is tracked by the custodian and also inside the SageSpring login. So hopefully that helps explain why the SageSpring login is important and will be useful to you moving forward as you interact with our teams. Next, I want to just walk through and walk through how to go ahead and create your login for your client portal. So the way that this will work is, in order to get set up, you're going to need an invite from your team that may have already been sent to you in the past, or you might get some communication from your team going along with this message or other communications that it's coming. But what you'll want to do is you'll want to go find that email inside of your mail application. So here I am inside my Gmail, and today we've actually set up John Adams as a test user. We'll see some more about that later. And this for me says reset credentials because I've already created this one time and I'm just resetting it. The process though is identical for you. So this would say something like sign up. You can either click this button right here. If that doesn't work, you can copy and paste this username. Watch out. Sometimes your computer might have a spam protector or something like that where it's not going to let you do either of these things, but you can physically copy this web address. Worst case scenario, open a new tab, paste it in there, and then hit enter. And then it's going to take you to first set up 3 security questions. So I'm just going to power through these right here. And so first it's going to have you do your security questions. After that's done, it's going to give you an opportunity to set up your login password. And hopefully, under pressure, I got this right. Nope. Let me try again. See if I got it this time. I guess I'm just letting the rest of the world know that if you're someone who has a hard time getting your passwords to match, I'm that someone too. So once you set up your 3 security questions and created your password, it's going to take you into this client portal, which we're not going to spend too much time looking at here. We've got a little bit more built out version for you elsewhere. But one thing I do want to point out, you'll notice here that my web browser has asked me if I want to remember this password. And this can be a very helpful feature because if you get this right, it can be very easy to log into your portal on your computer. But if you get it wrong, it can create some trouble. So what you want to make sure of is you want to make sure that when it memorizes your password, it does in fact memorize your password and not your security question. Or if you're typing in a password and then a security question, it might prompt you to update your password to be your security question, which would replace your password with a security question, which would then create issues the next time you log in. So you want to be careful to memorize the password the first time and then make sure that you don't update it to be a security question later. I'm trying to show you my password. It's SageSpring 2025 with an exclamation point, but we'll go ahead and ignore that for now. All right, so we gotten our email, we received our invitation, and we've signed up for our portal. And now, where do we go from here? And so I'm going to go ahead and share this screen here, and we've built out the Adams family, a test family here. We've got John's got an IRA, a 401k. We've got the Adams Family Trust here, a little bit of equity, a little bit of fixed income, a cash management account as well, and then John's Roth and Quincy's 529, Abigail's Roth as well. So this is the home screen. What you're going to see when you log in for the first time, it's going to have links to your team, contact numbers. Sometimes this is customized by teams. You might see team members here with phone numbers to contact as well. So this is the home screen, and then there's across the top here, this is the navigation. We're going to go into the first thing we'll go into is this, under this portfolio tab, we're going to go into the dashboard, okay? And there's basically 2 ways to navigate here in the dashboard. One is you can click into one of these areas, and they're called cards. You can click into one of them, or each of these cards is actually a tab on the top of this toolbar here. So you'll notice the second option on there, the portfolio tab, is activity summary. That's our first card. The next tab is allocation. That's our allocation. So you can navigate to these cards by going to the dashboard and clicking into them, or you can use this toolbar above the top. Now, the cards may look a little bit different for you because it's customized to each team, but generally these are the type of cards you might see. And we'll go through these 4 to just give you an idea of how they work and what kind of tools we have available to us here. So I'm going to click into this first one here, and we call this the activity card. So if you're in here, these some questions that this might help you answer. What's my starting and ending balance for a period of time? How much dividends and interest have I had? How much has the market value of my account changed over a period of time? These are the type of questions you can answer in here. And this is something that we want to show you that is a way to navigate each of these different cards on your dashboard that applies to all 4 cards. So we're going to teach you something that'll apply to this card and the next card and the next card, and it's a way to navigate. 2 things to think of. I think of AD and BC. We are living in AD, Anno Domino. I took Latin. My mom made me take Latin when I was in middle school. So AD in the year of our Lord. And I just want you to imagine, and I'm going to annotate this here for us, hopefully, if you give me 1 second. I want you to imagine that there's an A and a D, and you're kind of reading this like a book, okay? And so A is going to stand for account, and D is going to stand for date, okay? So up here is the filter and the switch tools, which are basically ways to pick which accounts you're looking at. So you can look at all of your accounts at once, or you can look at a single account, or for example, you could look at all 3 of your taxable investment accounts here if you wanted to. So you select which accounts you want to view, one or all or a combination, and then you hit apply, and then the card is updated with those accounts. Okay, so that's the A and AD. Then we move to date, and date stands for your date picker. And so up here on the right, you can see you can select, there's a couple time periods that it's going to give you automatically, or you can select a custom time frame to view the activity over. So a popular one is going to be since inception, since your account's moved over, but also if you wanted to look at last month, as of a certain date, I could look at the end of January, as I could look at last month as of the end of January. So that's going to give me the whole month of January there. And then in the same way, you go down to the bottom right and you hit apply, and that's going to update the card for you. Okay. So this is the activity card, and we've covered the account picker and the date picker. So now I'm going to head back to the, if I can get there, I'm going to head back to the dashboard and click into what we call the allocation card. So here's kind of some questions that you might want to answer with this card. That'd be, how much of my overall portfolio is in stocks? How much of my overall portfolio is in bonds? How much money do I have in IRA? So you can kind of see those things here. And also there's an extra feature on this card that is a grouping. So you can kind of hover through some of these groupings. Right now we're looking at it by account. We could go to by class, which would be stocks versus bonds. We can go by assets, which would actually give us a list of all of our holdings. And we can then sort that by the largest holdings, the smallest holdings, or alphabetically by symbols. And then we can also go to the account registration to see how much do we have in IRA versus Roth IRA. So that's the allocation. And again, the account picker and the date picker stays constant. You can view your allocation as of a certain period of time, or few accounts or all accounts. Moving on to the performance, if I told you that your account was up $50,000 or it was down $50,000, how would you know whether that was good or bad based on what was happening in the stock market? And that's kind of where the performance card comes in, because it gives you your performance as a percentage of your overall balance and kind of helps you interpret the changes that you might have seen in that first activity card, how they compare overall. So which accounts are growing more or less compared to others? What percentage am I up or down? Those are the kind of questions that we can answer in here. So we've got a nice table here grouped by account. We can also look and see, how we've done in our equities versus our bonds. And then we've got a nice chart over here as well. So that's our performance card. And then our fourth card that we're going to look at today is our transaction card. So this would answer a question like, was a deposit made? How much, was withdrawn for this or that? What stock did we just buy or sell or get a dividend from? Those would be things that you can view inside this transaction. So transaction card. So there's the account picker again on the top left, date picker on the right here, AD. And then one extra feature here of this card is that there's also a filter. And so you can filter by different types. So if you just want to see your withdrawals, you just want to see your income, your expenses, your buys, your contributions, exactly, you can filter it to that. And again, like the card we looked at second, the allocation card, this table as well can be sorted. So you can sort by a particular asset name, particular activity, particular account here within the card. So that covers the basic overview of all four of these cards and kind of how to navigate to and from and in between them all. The account picker and the date picker is also here on the dashboard. So if you want to view all four of these things at the same time for any one account or all your accounts, you can do that right here. Moving on to this top tab here, this is our Vault tab, and there's two things in here that might be helpful to you. The first one is documents. There'll be folders in here that you can upload a file securely to your advisory team, and they can also deposit files there for you to access inside your login and download to your computer. We don't want to be, we always want to be as cautious as possible when emailing sensitive information, so this is a great way to handle that. And then the second tab here under the Vault is reports. And this would be if you had asked your team for your advisory team for a custom report, they might prepare that, and instead of emailing it to you because it has an account number on it, they could have it deposited here and you'd be able to view it on your side. And then it could essentially stay in here and be able to be accessed. A year later, you'd have a history of all the reports that were shared with you. So that's the Vault tab. For some advisors, depending on how your team operates, there might be in the future more tabs, could be tabs related to your financial plan, etc. But these are kind of the most common, most basic things that you would see. So one extra thing now we want to cover on the housekeeping side is when you are inside of your profile, one little housekeeping detail you want to do is you want to go, one second here, having some trouble with my sharing. One thing you want to do is you want to go to the top right of your screen where it says, your name. So in our test example over here, it says John. I'm going to click on John, and then it gives me two options, sign out and preferences. I want to go to my preferences. And then in here, one thing you want to do is you want to add your cell phone number here in this column where it says mobile. Depending on how you were set up, it might already be in here, but then there will be a box, a blue link right here to click to say verify. And that will send a text message to you, which you can then come back and type the code in, which will get your cell phone verified. What that will allow is when you're logging in, you can then use security questions to authenticate yourself or a secure or a text message code. And a lot of times, if you're like me and you have an iPhone, they've got that great technology where if you get a text message with a security code, it automatically populates it for you. So that can be an even more efficient way for you to get in your account moving forward. So now that we've covered how to sign into your account and we've covered the online version of the SageSpring Client Portal, I want to jump over to a screen recording of my cell phone where I'm going to log into, for the first time, the SageSpring app and show you some things that are a little bit different there that are worth looking at. So here we go. I'm going to take over in 1 second. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can share my screen. Okay, here we go. So you can find the SageSpring app, whether you're on Android or iPhone. You can find it on the App Store or the Google Play Store. And then here I'm going to go into the SageSpring Wealth Partners application. And I'm going to put in my username. And then I'm going to put in that very complex password that we were working on earlier. And then this was kind of what we were talking about. If you've put in your cell phone number in your profile and you verified it, you'll have the choice here between whether you'd like to receive a text message or you'd like to answer your security questions. Since I've verified my phone number, I'm going to do that. And hopefully, there we go. My iPhone is just giving me a shortcut there. It's pre-populated my code, and I can hit continue. All right, so here I am inside of the SageSpring app. The first time you log in, they're going to ask you if you'd like to turn on Face ID. If that's something you use, this can be a great way to log into your account even faster. Gets rid of the security questions and the text message authentication. So once I'm here in the app, the main thing I want to emphasize is when you are using, instead of navigating at the top, you use what's called this pancake bar here on the left. The reason they call it a pancake bar is because it's 3 lines that look like pancakes. So you click here and same thing. You have your home, you have your dashboard, your 4 cards or 5 cards, 6 cards, depending on how many you have, and then your vault. So I'm going to go to just the first card we looked at, the activity summary, and I want to show you that account date feature. I want to show you where that's at and where that lives here in the app because it's a little bit different. It actually lives right here underneath the name. So it says activity summary and that says Adams, John, and Abigail. If you click on Adams, John, and Abigail, it's going to pull up this function, which is both your date picker and your account picker. So it's account picker on top, right there where it says Adams, John, and Abigail. And then it is your date picker right below it where it says date range. So it's got both those for you built right in. You can go over here to accounts, and we only have one account, but if you had more than one account, you could select which ones you wanted included. So that's about the only thing that's different on the app versus the desktop is how you change those accounts you're viewing and the dates. One housekeeping detail that we do want to point out on the app here, if your phone doesn't prompt you to turn on Face ID, you can go to the very bottom here on the left where it says settings right above log out, and you can turn on Face ID here. So if your phone didn't prompt you, it's not in the habit of prompting you, but you would like to have it on, you can turn that on here. You're not going to be able to, at this time, turn off multi-factor authentication because that's something that, as a firm, we decided is important to safeguard your information. So going to go ahead and stop screen sharing there on the mobile because that's all we need to look at. And this, ladies and gentlemen, will conclude our demo and tutorial of the SageSpring app. If you have any additional questions, we can help with anything else. We hope you'll call us, and we'll look forward to talking with you again soon. Thanks so much.